best planes we've built, but whatever this guy's got, I want one.
1996 may go down as the year of the alien. If you haven't gotten your extraterrestrial fill with Independence Day and The X-Files, then NBC's new creepfest Dark Skies should do the trick. The TV series raises the intriguing question, what if an alien race existed on our planet and played a role in real-life events throughout modern history? The powerful non-human race in Dark Skies, called the Hive, was designed by effects expert Todd Masters. His big screen work can be seen in Bordello of Blood and the upcoming Star Trek First Contact. But one way the series hopes to be different from familiar alien fare is, well, with the aliens.
Everybody always makes their aliens, no matter how far away they come from. They always look exactly like, people. They always look like humans or, our actors. And so we kind of purposely wanted to make sure these things are much more lanky, much more gaunt, and totally different.
Does this look Russian to you?
Todd Masters' first design step was to create a series of miniature sculptures which served as the springboard for what became an elaborate new alien life form.
We actually started, when we were designing this, started thinking that way. Okay, how would these guys evolve, and why would they look different? So we did these little nostril things here. We came up with all these weird evolution reasons. We have fingers that are here, and here, and also on the feet, that can kind of fan out. And the reasons for that were, these people will deal in zero gravity situations. They're almost like kickstands for the alien.
And while computer-generated effects may be today's hot trend, Masters and his technical staff decided on a different route.
We have a system that we're just developing now, which is the latest in alien technology, as our producers call it. It's basically a slave suit that hooks up to a puppeteer and slaves all their movements. So these things, these small 5-foot puppets are being operated by small 5-foot humans, but not necessarily inside. They're kind of outside. It's kind of an exterior system.
These good-looking guys aren't the only scene stealers in Dark Skies. Get ready to add the word ganglion to your sci-fi vocabulary.
There's a lot of effects that come out of just the bizarre imaginations of the writers and the producers that aren't exactly things you can just stockpile. We're doing things called the ganglion, which are totally unlike humans. I mean, these little slug things. These, of course, are the little modules that are ruling the world and are implanted in some of our brains. And those are actually quite an array of different puppets. So the ganglions are the perfect opportunity where every single time you see them, it's a different gag.
With wild creatures like ganglions and the Hive, this new series hopes to distinguish itself from similar sci-fi fare. In creating aliens for Dark Skies, the sky's the limit.
Basically what we're trying to do is just keep pushing that marker a little further. So each time it's harder and harder to achieve. It's like the Olympics of makeup effects and visual effects.
After his groundbreaking novel Ghost Story was published in 1979, Peter Straub was hailed as a hot new name in horror fiction.
In a way, it was a little scary because it meant that life wasn't run on the same lines and according to the same rules it had been before. But what it really was immensely freeing.
After years of struggling as a poet and novelist, Straub was now a bona fide literary star. Stephen King, who had arrived on the celebrity scene a few years earlier, even offered tips on how to handle this newfound fame.
Steve used to say, Peter, when you go out the front door, you're going to be afraid that a train is going to run over you because you think maybe you don't deserve it. He said, that'll all pass, don't worry about it.
The irony of King's advice undoubtedly was not lost on Straub, who was run over by a car when he was only 7 years old. The consequences of that childhood mishap played a large role in shaping the man and the horror writer.
I probably had what is called a near-death experience. In fact, I'm virtually certain I did. I don't want to get on the Whitley Strieber territory here. But whatever that was, it was very profound and affecting. And the whole point was that even though I appeared in every way to be a normal, suburban, rather gregarious and garrulous kid, I had this inner world which was very fearful, it was full of anger, and it was full of grotesque imagery, because I kept seeing myself dying, bleeding on a street.
It took a long time for Straub to find an outlet to channel his inner turmoil. But when he began writing the novel Julia, which incorporated supernatural themes, he discovered that his personal demons and professional skills made a hell of a team.
Fortunately, I had writing, which over a period and by a kind of experimentation, I worked my way into this area in which I could write about pain, fear, extremity. And because I knew all this stuff so well, I was good at it.
Time and again, Straub has proven himself to be a master of dark, dramatic storytelling. Readers around the world have fearfully inhaled novels like Shadowland, Floating Dragon, and The Talisman, which he co-wrote with Stephen King.
It's very pleasurable to think of the reader staring at a page and flipping and staring at the next one. In other words, being out of the world, being gone, just lost in that text. That's a great thought, you know, and that's a very satisfying image.
Recent works like The Hellfire Club have centered more on human evil than supernatural evil. But that hasn't made the reading experience any less traumatic for the helpless fans who've fallen under Straub's spell.
I wouldn't just say that I'm trying to offer my readers painful experiences, because by the time he or she comes to the end of the book, I want them to feel this big, beneficent glow that comes from having survived all these travails. It seems to me that's an experience that's really worth having, and that's what I'm trying to give.